Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another Koze Daily Brew. Today we're going to be talking about how to stay open. I would say I've practiced today. I actually went for a little walk this morning. I decided that because it was so beautiful out, I just wanted to go somewhere to do my emails. And while I was walking down the street, I feel like it gets really normal, and maybe it's just like a Toronto thing, but it gets really normal to almost be like walking down the street in such a mission here. When you have your headphones on, you're just like avoiding eye contact with people that are walking past you, and you just like don't really see a lot of the things going on. At least that's how I feel. Or maybe that's just kind of, I just came out of winter, and winter here is really cold, so when you're like power walking places in Toronto, you kind of just want to get to where you're going. But in all reality, I just feel like every time I'm walking anywhere, I guess I didn't really notice it until I started reading this book, The Untethered Soul, but I've just been more aware of when I'm closing myself off to the world. And walking is one of those things that I've definitely noticed I, have been closing myself off without even realizing it. Allow me to explain. In the book, The Untethered Soul, I am reading it right now, and I read a chapter this morning that really kind of woke me up. It opened me up, if you will, to the perspective of how easily we tend to shut ourselves off from the world. And it's not like a foreign concept to me that I guess it's been popping up actually quite a bit. Like I talked about this randomly with my hairdresser, then I talked about this randomly with my Uber driver the other day, just like how we as individuals, we as human beings, this isn't normal for us to be living so on top of each other, especially where I live in a big city. We are literally like, there's someone on this side of us, there's someone on this side of us, there's like a million people above us, and it's just like, if you look at it almost like hamsters or mice, we're almost in like those little cubicles that are all just like above each other. And it's not necessarily normal for us to all live in such tight quarters and in such big populations, or at least it hasn't become that normal to our like makeup, like our chemical DNA, even though our brains have obviously made it normal for us. But anyways, I'm getting to something, I swear. All in all, what I'm saying is that I guess in a way it makes sense that a lot of the times we have become a little overstimulated. And when you're walking down the street, there can be a lot of sounds going on, there can be a lot of people heading this way and that, there's cars, there's bikers, so you're almost always on alert rather than, just staying open to what's actually going on around you. So today, when I was walking to sit down somewhere to do my emails, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a really good effort to not sit on my phone while I'm walking, to not, keep my head down, and to just like stay open and see what I see. And the results were pretty cool. So while I was walking, well, first of all, I put on my headphones because I feel like walking in general is such a nice way to almost like meditate and zen out. So I put on my headphones and I started walking. And every time I kind of noticed myself starting to get anxious or starting to be like, oh my God, like, where am I going? Where am I going? I was just like, calm down, okay? Breathe. Just stay open. And instantly I could feel my shoulders relax, almost like my chest was opening up, and I just like lifted my head back up and just took in the view. And I literally just allowed wherever my feet took me to kind of just like direct the course, I didn't really have like an end game in sight of where I was gonna stop to do my emails. I didn't really like plan anywhere in particular. I just kind of kept walking with wherever felt right. It was almost like I was intuitively just following a map that I guess my gut knew and I didn't. I don't know. But anyways, here's just like what I'm trying to get at here is taking this challenge today to try and stay more open while I was walking somewhere. It made me realize how used to being closed that I am, especially in public. I think especially when we're around strangers and we're around people that we don't really know, we've gotten very used to staying closed off from one another and closed off from the world because we're afraid of what might, pop up that we're not expecting, or we have places to be, we have things to do that we kind of stop living intuitively. We kind of stop following just the world around us because we're so routine and regimented and scheduled. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good schedule and I love a good regimen and I love having places to be and things to do, but I also think that there needs to be a balance with almost staying open to going with the flow sometimes. And that's not an easy thing to do in our world because I feel like a lot of things wouldn't get done if we weren't so scheduled. There's pros and cons to both, but when we remain open to what's going on around us, we can still have a blueprint and a plan to follow while still being open to new opportunities to show themselves. Because a lot of the times, like, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. It's like a quote most people know, but I guess my takeaway from that is like, you can plan because, there's nothing better than being prepared if there is nothing that shows up, but plan and then just like open yourself up to whatever arrives, put your intention here and plant those seeds and then just see what grows. Don't just like hyper focus on only those seeds. Stay open to anything that might sprout out of your garden, you know? I'm just throwing so many metaphors out today, but basically just stay open. I feel like that's the overall message I'm trying to get across and kind of trying to embrace myself lately, is to just go for a walk with no end in sight or no purpose, and to just like open my eyes to the things actually going around, just like the birds on the street or the clouds in the sky, and just like being aware and open to the world going on around you, at least for today even, just to see what you might see. And aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's Koze Daily Brew, and I will talk to all of you guys tomorrow morning. Bye guys.